Welcome back to 13 News Weekend Edition. It was a 5-week battle that included some of the fiercest and bloodiest fighting of the Pacific War of World War II. And 75 years ago, one West Virginia hero was at the center of it all. Earlier this week, I sat down with Woody Williams at Yeager Airport before he caught a plane to Washington, D.C. to speak at a commemorative event this weekend. Take a look. February 23rd, 1945, the day a West Virginia farm boy became an American hero.
I didn't think I had done anything unusual or special. My commanding officer and some Marines who were willing to testify as to what went on that day said this is what I did. And it was my job. I just doing what I was trying to do.
While 75 years may have passed, Medal of Honor recipient Woody Williams says some things can't be forgotten.
Very difficult for me to even realize it's been 75 years now. But some of it is still very vivid. Much of it, of course, is going in the past because it didn't make any particular effort to remember. But some of the things we can never forget.
Under constant enemy fire, the determined 21-year-old put his life on the line repeatedly in one of the bloodiest battles of the Pacific.
And there are certain things that stick in your mind and you never can get rid of them.
Destroying enemy positions.
We couldn't figure out where the enemy was. You'd see them and then they would disappear.
Ultimately leading to victory. It was the same day this iconic image was captured at Iwo Jima.
The flag going up, I didn't see the flag going up. I saw the flag immediately after it got up on Mount Suribachi.
Woody would return home 9 months later. In October of 1945, President Harry Truman would award him with the nation's highest honor.
At the time of Iwo Jima, and even afterwards, I had never heard of the Medal of Honor. I had never, I didn't know such a thing existed. And eventually I learned that 2 Marines that day had sacrificed their lives protecting mine. Then it took on a completely different meaning.
Those Marines, Corporal Warren Bornholtz and Private First Class Charles Fisher.
I wear it when I wear it. I wear it in the honor of those 2 Marines because they couldn't give any more than what they did.
Woody has found another way to honor those brave Marines and others just like them through his work honoring Gold Star families through the Herschel Woody Williams Medal of Honor Foundation. At 96, he credits good genes, a good sense of humor, and something else to his longevity.
I have a lot of people who ask me, well, what do you attribute your long life to? And I'll give them my card. I'll give you a card if you'd like to have one.
Take a card.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take
a daily drink of a special concoction.
I began drinking vinegar and honey back in those days, and I've been doing it ever since. I did this morning.
That, of course, in addition to his love of family, his love for his country, and love for the place he calls home.
There's no place like West Virginia. You can't find someplace else like West Virginia. We're the happiest, and we're unusual and different, and that's true. We are. We are our own people, and there's a lot of pride in West Virginia.
And West Virginia certainly has a lot of pride in Woody Williams. Now, 27 Medals of Honor were awarded to those who fought and died at Iwo Jima. Williams is the only recipient still living. He's also one of the 2 still living Medal of Honor recipients of World War II. The other was in the U.S. Army. Now, tonight on the 75th anniversary, Woody got to drop the puck at the Capitals' Penguin NHL game in Washington, D.C.